Hi guys, it's France and this is week 99 of the Journal on Monday series. Welcome back again. I found these dragonflies in my studio. I don't even remember what brand they are. I don't even have the package anymore, but I decided it was time to do something with them. So first I'm securing the center of my book, and I'm not securing it in a good way, in that sense that I had a lot of glue seeping through and going on the other pages by doing so, but so be it. So now I'm just gluing down my dragonflies, and I'm using decoupage glue to do so. These are just paper die cuts, so nothing fancy, just gluing them down and creating a texture on my background. While I was working on this spread, I had my parents-in-law in the house, which is not a problem, but I got quite distracted while working, and well, you will see the result later on when I get distracted. I really liked the sewing that I had on the center of the left side of the spread, and I wanted to keep it that way, but you'll see what happens later on. Once I have dragonflies all over, I'm ripping a couple in pieces so that I can fill up all the open spaces with dragonflies. And then I can simply cut the excess away. This is the biggest moment you can see that I'm totally distracted while trying to art journal. So I'm applying a layer of gesso over the whole spread, which is not a good idea because I know I want to go in with fluid acrylic afterwards. But having the glue underneath the gesso and applying fluid acrylic on top of it will make the gesso move around. It won't stick in place. So that was really not thinking what I was doing. And second part, I really like that sewing, so why oh why did I put white gesso over it? Well, I did so because someone was talking to me and I was really distracted. So yes, I was pretty angry at myself after doing so, but hey, there's no way back, so moving on. I'm going in with the set colors, which are fluid acrylics, and I'm starting with a dark brown. And I don't know if you can see it, but the gesso is already going all over the place, but no way back, so I just go on and add the second color that I want to play with. And I know that once everything is on there and halfway dried, I want to take it back off again to create a bit of a patina. So mixing water into it and just blending the colors around, slightly drying it with my heat gun, and then going in with a dry cloth as well as baby wipes to pick up the colors again. And that's where you see that the gesso wasn't happy at all underneath everything. But it's okay, it created a cool effect in the end. Now I'm going back in with the colors to blend them in a more harmonious way. I have too much blue, not enough brown on one side, and too much brown and not enough blue on the other side. So I'm adding colors where I think it's needed. And just doing the same thing, drying it halfway through, and then again a dry cloth and a baby wipe, and picking the color back up. Before I add more blue on the left side, I first go in with another fluid acrylic, which is the quinacridone nickel as a gold, to add some little details. If you would like to know all the details of the colors that I used, you can check it out on my blog. For each Journal on Monday video, I create a list of ingredients where I list all the products that I used with the brand and the names of the colors. So I've added some more details with this orangey rusty color. And yes, I clean a lot while I work. And then again, I'm using a baby wipe to blend it in and to soften it down so that it's less spotty on the page. It looks too much like spots sitting there. So I'm blending them in using a baby wipe again. And then I'm add some more blue on the left side. I want to give these dragonflies even a more distressed finished look. So I'm applying a layer of distressed Crackle paint, and this is just the clear rock candy. I'm applying it just using a paintbrush on top of every dragonfly. While it's drying, because I don't have any patience to wait, I'm going around the dragonflies using a charcoal pencil, and this will give them even more depth on the page. And then using a blending stump, I'm blending the pencil in. Now that the Crackle paint is dried, I can accentuate those crackles, and I'm doing so using the metallic pen pastels. I'm using the two golden colors, using the darker one to shade and the lighter one in the center of the dragonflies. Today's video is about 14 minutes long, and it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get it done. Because of a lot of the distractions, and because, well, when you spend time being angry at yourself for doing things you didn't want to do, well, it costs you time. So I won't be using any fixative on top of this, so I'm using a dry cloth to take the excess pen pastel away. The rest won't move as it is trapped in the cracks of the Crackle paint. Then using a dark brown pen pastel, I'm adding even more shading to the dragonflies, but only on one side of them, only going out of the spread, not going in. With the charcoal pencil I did both. I did the inside going in and the outside going out. Now I'm only doing the downside of the dragonflies. I wanted to highlight the whole thing, the whole spread, so I decided to add a layer of white fluid acrylic on top of everything, watering it down, and then using a baby wipe to take off almost all the paint, but not quite everything. And now that I have all these white accents, I want to add a black edge around the whole spread. So I'm going in with archival ink. As I have acrylic paint, I need something that will work on top of the acrylic paint. So I'm using archival ink and a blending tool. And I'm really pulling the archival ink on to the middle of the spread. So I'm not staying only on the edges. I'm really going around the border. Now for this wording, I chose this wording because while working on this spread, I showed one of my pieces to my mother-in-law, which I made with one of her family photos. And she thought it was so, well, it touched her, it really touched her, and she just started to cry. So I had to change the wording that I planned to use for this spread, and instead of using the one that I wanted to use, I used one that says, when you do things from your soul, other people really dig that shit. It's the first time that I see my mother-in-law and even my father-in-law so touched by something that I made. So I wanted to have a memory of that. I'm adding a bit of a doodling around the text to make it pop a bit more from the dark background. And then adding some shading as well, just like I did for the rest with the charcoal pencil, and then blending it with a blending stump. Once I'm done shading, I'm also adding a bit of glimmer glaze on top of the text to make it pop even more. That's it for today. If you liked today's video, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to join us next week for the 100th Journal on Monday celebration on my blog. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being out there, and see you back next time. Ta-da!